2014, so you guys have enough time. They on their comforters. This one, I'm going to tell you, it is absolutely beautiful. Matter of fact, that's what I picked up today. I got this one, and it is $29.99. Twin, full, queen, or king.
Wow.
4-piece comforter set. This thing is fabulous, and it's that nice lightweight, but you have enough warmth in it. And in the middle of the night, you get a little chilly. You can use it. Go down there. It's fabulous. All the towels, 200 thread count, cotton-rich, bright sheet sets, starting at $9.99. I was looking at those colors. Whoa, they're happy. So go home, clean out your linen closet, go to Anna's, buy all brand new, get all happy colors. And
tell your husband Bev told you to do it.
Yes. And, hey, there was a lot of guys in that store shopping today. No kidding. There was a lot of guys. Right? And then their towels. They have the plush bath towels. These things feel like butter when you're drying yourself. I've never tell you, they're gorgeous. And they're $6.99. 30 by 54 inch, the nice big towels, and they have the hand towels and the washcloths and all the new duty dads that you want for your bathroom, for your toothbrush holder and all this other good stuff. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, they have the rugs on sale, the pillows are on sale, the curtains are on sale, your little cushions for on the bottom of your chairs are on sale. And this thing just goes on and on and on. They have the covers now for your furniture. If you want to get some nice new covers, if the furniture's looking kind of shabby and you don't want to purchase a new one, right?
Cheap facelift.
Right. They have the covers starting at $19.99, and they go up, and it's the jersey style. That means it will feel like a fantastic blouse on your sofa. When you tuck it in, it stays in. You know when you get a good blouse, right? You tuck it in your jeans or something, and it doesn't move? That's what this does.
If I'm sleeping, it doesn't move.
Yeah, and you can wash and dry. Put it in cold water, put it on tumble dry, bada bing, bada boom. All the dishes are on sale. Everything from A to Z is on sale at Anna's for this whole week. So, guys, go on down, make your house happy. Upgrade, get happy colors for the season. Okay,
cool stuff.
Now, there you go. Okay, now, Barbara.
Yes.
Let's talk about insurance.
Fun.
Yes. And the first thing that I want to talk to you about, what is this thing about buying a new car and the loans insurance?
That's a great question. I've had several people call this week. They just bought a brand new car, and now that they've left the dealership and completed the transaction, now they're asking the right questions. Sometimes it's too late, so I'm glad that you asked that question now. People don't understand that a car policy is a cash value policy. If the car is totaled, they only pay you what the car is worth on that day. So the problem is today, we got 7-year loans on these cars. Mm-hmm. So we, in most cases, owe a great deal more on a loan than the value of the car. So what happens to that gap between how much you get if your car is totaled and what you're liable to pay the bank?
Repeat that again if somebody missed that.
What do you do about the gap between what you can get paid for the value of your car if it's totaled and what you owe the bank on the loan? And the answer is in what I said. There's actually a policy called gap insurance, and it pays that gap. And it's a sweet policy. You buy it from the dealer. Don't call your agent. You buy it from the dealer while you're buying the car. And what it does is it pays that gap. Doesn't matter what that little gap is. It pays off your loan.
Now, what happens if one goes down? We were talking about this at the round table.
Uh-huh.
What happens? Somebody buys a brand new car. In 48 hours, 72 hours later, they change their mind. It doesn't feel right. They don't like the color. They don't like the, whatever it is. And they want to return it.
No, you can't get no annulment. I'm just saying.
Sometimes this happens.
No, you can't anymore. It used to be this 3-day cool-off period. Ask any dealer as you're signing. They'll even have a little block that you sign that says, no cool-off time.
Okay, so
that's
when you
a big
buy it,
deal.
that's it.
Yes, you need to find out, do I have a cool-off period? If it's no, then you better be sure of what you're doing before you sign on the dotted line.
There you go. And the other thing, too, now with this gap policy, and you buy it from the dealership,
Yes.
do you have to buy that the day you purchase that vehicle?
Yes. Most of them won't let you buy it afterwards. So it's another thing that when you're sitting down with the F&I guy, which is the finance and insurance guy, or girl, you really want to have that conversation because it's a one fee. You know, it can be anywhere depending on the value of the car from $600 and up. And they add that dollar amount to the loan. They extend it over the payments. It's the best money, I'm sorry, you will ever spend. I will not buy a car, even a used car. Even a used car. What if you go out and buy a 2012 right now and you get a loan on it? You still have the same situation that could happen, that there could be that gap between the value of the car in the case of a boo-boo and the amount of the loan. So again, you want to look at that gap insurance. Always, always, always.
Is that insurance included in the loan price?
Yes. They put it, they say, like when you're looking at your finance agreement, it'll say, here's the sales price, here's the governor's portion, here's the DMV's portion, oh, here's your gap policy, here's your warranty. Yes, they add it all in on the amount financed.
So can you, say you forget to ask for that gap, and can you go to an insurance company and ask for it? No.
We don't sell it.
Really?
Yeah. Because, again, it's an agreement, kind of a policy between the dealership and the lending institution.
It's a financing.
You know? So you really want to take care of it there.
That sounds good. And talking about taking care of things, talking about buying new cars, and we're going to get into the boats and all of that in a minute. You have a teenage driver,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Don't ruin my day. It's Friday.
You bless yourself before you get in the vehicle and all of this, right? But now, if that young adult is turning 18, 19, 20 years old, is still a young adult, they go and purchase the vehicle, right? And they're living in mom and dad's house or auntie and uncle's house, whatever relative that they're living with. They're buying that car, previous owned or owned. And the co-signer is mommy and daddy or auntie or uncle or whomever, right? Does that still qualify for that young adult?
Does what qualify?
That gap.
Yes, whoever's buying the car with the loan, they can add the gap policy to the contract. Absolutely.
Even though they have a co-signer.
Even if they have a co-signer. And it's even more important, I would think, in that scenario, because if your grandniece totals the car, they're not going to go after the grandniece for the money, are they?
They're going after whoever co-signed that. Yes.
Exactly. So they definitely want the gap insurance.
Yeah.
They definitely want it.
You know, because there's so many different things with insurance that people don't think of, and especially their ages. And your zip code has a lot to do with this, also where you live. And a lot of people don't think of that
No,
stuff.
they don't. They don't. Because, like the General, his commercial about the bag over the head and everything's anonymous. Ugh. How can it be anonymous? If you go to their website, they ask you all the same questions that I ask. What's your name? What's your address? What's your date of birth? What's the year, make, model of the car? You know, all those kinds of things, because nothing can be anonymous. Because the only nice thing about being a mature adult is that I get better insurance rates. But that's important. If you're 20 and I'm 40, then I'm going to pay less than you, traditionally speaking, depending on where you live. If I'm driving a Ferrari and you're driving a Buick Skylark, you might be paying less than me. So all that's pertinent.
So do your homework.
Yes.
Do your homework. And then
call somebody fabulous like me, and I'll explain it to you.
Yes.
Now, is it also true that if you live in in a certain area code, you can actually pay a lot lower in your insurance as far as where your zip code is?
That's true, because if XYZ city is having a problem with gangs or car thefts or etc., then yes, that goes into the rating. Just like living in Big Bear, Forest Falls, Idlewild with the fires, they're rated for the fires. So it's the same scenario on autos. If it's in a place where they're experiencing car thefts, etc., absolutely.
Yeah. That zip code, no matter what you're doing, it depends on that zip code. It really does. So before you move, think about it. And
think about it.
Right, and talking about moving here. Now, this is the time of year that people are moving from point A to point B. or point B back to point A, wherever. Now, what is this thing here about moving and renting?
Well, I think that's another great question because you know what I love?
Now, what do you love?
I love when somebody calls me and goes, oh, I rented a car and I didn't buy the insurance because I know that I'm covered. And my thing I say is, how do you know?
Do you have a crystal ball and
yeah,
you can read
yeah.
it?
How do you know?
Yeah.
So, and it's really a valid question because I'm waiting for the response. Well, I know because I know it matches my exact policy. Okay, that's the answer. So we need to know things like we rent a car. If you rent a car for short term, you're going to go to Vegas, baby, for the weekend, rent a car. You don't have to buy their policy if you have coverage, but the exact coverage that you have is what extends to the rental car. So if you don't have comprehensive or collision on your car that is insured, then you have no comprehensive and no collision on the rental car. So then you would need to buy their insurance. So you need to know that. Another thing is with the moving, say you're going to rent a U-Haul truck. A little bit different. Make sure you talk to your insurance agent. But what if you're going to rent a little U-Haul trailer? Oh, my God.
That's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. Get on the phone. Call. So all I'm saying is please just don't assume that you're good. You need to reach out and say, am I good? Tell me that I am good. So your agent can look it up and say, yeah, you're good, or oopsie, you ain't good. This is what we need to do, or this is what you need to do. Because this is the season. Everybody's renting, moving, et cetera. So just be sure. That's all I want you to do is be sure.
And then the other thing, too, about renting out cars or the U-Haul, even the little wagon thingy in the back and whatever. Let's say you're going cross-country. You rented out a U-Haul, and you're going across country. You have 3 different drivers. Everybody's taking turns, right? Each person that is driving that vehicle has to be insured, doesn't it?
Well, see, that's a different scenario. On that one, you need to find out with the car, who's got the car, what that insurance company feels about the trailer. But say you were going to rent a car, okay, and 3 of you, or 3 girlfriends, were all going to go, and you all were going to. You're exactly right. Every single one of those drivers has to be listed on the rental contract, because if they are not, and there is an accident, and you bought their insurance, you bought blue sky, because it's not going to pay because you didn't say that person was driving. So your contract says that Bob has coverage. Well, Bill was driving. Well, Bill doesn't have coverage because he wasn't on the contract. So that's super important, and people forget to do that little thing. So even husband and wife, same thing. You need to say both of us are going to be driving, put both of our names on it, because if you've got the coverage,
then you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Again, boys and girls, do your homework.
Exactly.
And call Barbara at Farmers Insurance with that bump. And if you just tuned in, you're listening to Let's Go Shopping with Bev right here on KCAA 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind. And we are talking to the one and only Barbara from Farmers Insurance. Now, let's get into the good stuff. You talked about the cars.
Alcohol.
And the U-Hauls and everything else. Let's get talking about the boats, the water skis, the motorcycles, the RVs, because we're in spring.
Yeah.
I want to get back out on the lake in that boat, and I want to go skiing. What do I need to do?
Okay, there's several things that people need to know. Several things have changed in insurance and even at the lake. The Coast Guard is actively boarding boats now. Okay, so they're even, where's your insurance? Let me see it. Where's your fire extinguisher? You must have a fire extinguisher on the boat. You must have a life jacket for each person on the boat. Don't say, I'm 40, I didn't need one. You have to have one for every single person on the boat. Also know what age person for what region you're going to be in has to be in it. But most importantly, too, here's a pet peeve of mine. A 13-year-old's driving your boat.